Ready to turn your passion for beauty into a career? Our esthetician school offers the perfect blend: online learning and hands-on training, master skincare, waxing, and more with our hybrid program. Flexible online lessons plus real-world practice, only 220 hours to complete. Fit it into your life, finish fast, and step into a growing industry with skills employers love. Enroll today. Your future as an esthetician is waiting. Visit medspa-institute.com now and start your beautiful journey.
I'm back in Tampa once again, and we are visiting with Dr. Tali Arviv. And what's so exciting is that we are here at the Medspa Institute. When we first met, we were discussing the fact that this was all kind of started by your mom because she realized that someone didn't have an official training center for the things that she wanted to teach. And here we are. And there's many different things that you teach here. I had to get my cheat sheet because it's microdermabrasion, microneedling, HF and
frequency,
RF.
radio frequency.
What is that?
High frequency and radio frequency.
Okay. Lasers, facial cleansing, massage, face. I could use massage real good. Chemical peels, body contouring, and hydrofacials, right? And so in order to get an esthetician's license here in Florida, it's only 220 hours.
That's right.
Okay. So that's wonderful because you can have a whole career-changing experience by coming here, and then you can get hired by going through the program.
Or open your own business.
Oh, well,
Go
that's
work at
exciting
a spa,
too.
Right.
All right.
You can work at a med spa, a regular salon that offers facials. It's a great program. If you go full time, it literally takes 6 weeks.
Okay.
But at the same time, we're one of the few educational facilities that offers online hybrid with hands-on. So some of those things that you mentioned, they're mostly what we do for hands-on training. So 70 hours out of 220 hours is going to be hands-on, which takes about 2 weeks. And then the other 4 weeks, like I said, if you do it full-time, then you can, get your license in 6 weeks.
Okay.
But if you need more time, you have a job, you have other responsibilities, you can just do it from home, and you can just take your time, take the online course, and when you're ready, you take the test, you come in and schedule your hands-on. We're super flexible, so we accommodate the student's schedule, and even if it's on the weekend, and then they can come, they can get their hands-on training so they can complete their certification.
Which is wonderful. You also teach doctors. Like, what else do you teach? Yeah.
So we call that the kind of non-medical side of it is for the facials, the workshops for microneedling and so forth. But if you're a medical professional, I personally offer trainings in Botox, fillers, lasers, any laser treatments that we offer at the med spa.
Okay.
Thread lift. So essentially any treatments that we do at Arviv Medical Aesthetics, we also offer training on those treatments.
What do you love best about teaching? Because I know you're also a mom. Like, but is it like this? Like, because I'm a mom too. Is it something where you're imparting like wisdom and you're like seeing someone like a life be changed through that wisdom?
Yes. Yeah, I think patience and like a lot of the students that I teach, or of course students, but they always tell me like, you love teaching, don't you? You're such a good teacher. You're so patient. And I guess I don't think about myself that way, but I just enjoy the experience that they're able to do something independently without me. So the reason why I started the training program was because I went to multiple trainings in order to, be able to have these skills myself.
Right.
And all the trainings as far as hands-on, I never left the training feeling like, wow, I can do this on my own. I feel confident to do this on my own without any help, supervision, advice, or guidance. And I said, no, I'm gonna do a high-focused hands-on program. So when I do my trainings, if you're coming in to learn Botox, the didactics is something that as a physician or nurse practitioner, you can do at home. So we go over some didactics, but 99% of the course is hands-on. So you're coming in and you're injecting models all day, all real patient models. So you're doing it. I'm not doing it for you.
Makes a big difference.
Exactly.
Right.
So when my students leave, they can go open their own practice or add a new service to their current practice because they feel confident about what they're doing. And I'm still there for them. You know, at the end of the day, like being an instructor, trainer, you're also a mentor. So you're always there for them to guide them in the right direction if, you know, you still have more questions, because aesthetics is such a broad field and everyone's face is different. You know, everyone's different.
And it's a growing field. People are wanting this, especially that I've noticed time and time again. I've been coming down to this Tampa area, which is wonderful. And I'm sure it's growing in other places in the country as well. But it seems like people really want to look good down here. I've noticed, right? People really care. You know, it's like bikini season. You know, people care about how they look from head to toe and fingertip to fingertip.
They do. So. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, you want to look good when you're applying for a job. You want to look good for a certain event, if it's a wedding or a reunion or, you know, holidays. So
you'll be in demand. So somebody that learns, right? So somebody that learns these techniques will probably be in demand.
And, you know, there's a lot of really medical providers that are getting a little burnt out in the medical field, and maybe at some point they say, hey, I need a change in career. Okay. Or, you know, I want to work less in the hospital and maybe do something a little more kind of satisfying in terms of it's artistic, it's not so intense, it's not stressful. You get to meet a lot of, you know, beautiful people, and you get to make them feel good about themselves. And it's just a different, you know, it's a whole nother career in itself. And, you know,
and flexibility with hours too, right? Because there's probably very little overnights that you're doing.
There is no overnights. There is no overnights.
There's no overnights. And here in Florida,
there's no emergencies.
Right. And here in Florida, you have to be at least 16 years old. So someone that wants to do the online course should just probably check, you know, what their rules are in each of their states.
Right. So for facial specialists in Florida, you have to be 16 and you have to have a high school diploma or GED. So even if you're 16, you have to have completed high school to enroll in the facial program.
This looks great. I always want to try something new. I don't think I have the time to take the course, but so it's 220 hours in Florida. It looks great. So thank you for seeing me again. I wanted to just stop by because I was right down the street, and I was like, hey, I want to come in and check and see what's new. But this is fabulous. So thank you for spending some time with us.
Glad you came.
It's Medspa Institute. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Medspa Institute. Thanks for watching, and I hope this might bring you a new chance to have a new career.
Start the new year strong with Boom Chaga. Our liquid concentrate turns any drink into your daily super drink, boosting energy, focus, and health. Make 2025 your healthiest year yet.
When you're feeling low, there's nothing better than Uplift. Stay tuned. Joining us now is Rocco, and we're going to be talking about this beautiful product line called Uplift Provisions. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Donna. How are you?
Fabulous. We got a chance to talk, I guess maybe about a month ago. Had a long conversation about your product line. What made you decide to start this?
Honestly, Donna, this brand saved my life. It's given me purpose. Coming from 20 years just about background in the hair industry, long lineage of family. Creating something that I can share not just with my clients, but anybody that's open to trying new products, as well as having a good product for kids as well as women and men. You know, there's no demographic for our products. They're made for everybody.
And when you say made for everybody, it's about the way that it's made, but also how it's packaged. So let's talk about how it's made and why this product line might be a little better choice than others.
That's a great question. I mean, you know, I've seen a lot of brands over the years, and you know, having something as far as packaging that's not too over masculine and not too feminine, and having it in the bathroom or on a shelf, it really just brings this comfort when you look at it. It can go on any shelf, just even being on your desk, you know, it captures you, the very essence. But the ingredients and the work that goes into it, you know, we're constantly trying to, you know, create and have a sustainable product, and sourcing ingredients locally within our regions and keeping our products as we make them in the United States. And as well as just having a clean product to use on a daily
uplifting also because they have inspirational messages on them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm all about that. I'm all about like the live it up tip for the day, right? And so when you get a chance to use this, this one, you know, they have different quotes, they have different things that like help your day, right? It's just a little joy, right? So one of the things too that the ingredients that I thought was interesting is you started it out like hand making these, like small batch, right?
Yeah.
So what is it about the products that are less toxic, I suppose, right?
Yeah, great question again. So I have really sensitive sinuses, right? And anything too cologne-y, too like tobacco or strong. I spend a lot of time in Whole Foods going around the aisles and smelling essential oils. And peppermint has always been a scent that helps like kind of settle and calming, but also for my sinuses. And the lime. So everything about this brand is uplifting. The peppermint helps with the hair follicle, so it brings blood flow. So think about if you have a headache, you smell peppermint, it brings blood flow to release, you know, especially up to the brain. But when you put it on the hair, it actually promotes healthy hair growth, as well as kills bacteria in the hair. The lime swells the hair follicle. So I think the scent, especially going back to a product that's not overly masculine, not overly feminine, that's really for everybody, even kids, you know. I don't really want to put anything with a strong scent on like a 4 or 5 year old kid. You know, this is something that washes out nice, and we always have a really strong complement on the scent.
You also created something that, like, instead of sitting on the skin, right, is actually better for you, right? Let's talk about that technology. You mentioned it last night at dinner, and I was kind of fascinated. And I was like, oh, I want to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, great question again. So this is our texture powder.
Okay.
There's many on the market, but what makes us different is we make it and it's water-based. So it actually absorbs into the hair versus laying on the scalp. So a lot of the times,
okay, that was the key. Okay,
yeah,
so
product buildup. You know, and we really just love this product because it's in a pump. We pump, we don't dump. You know, ladies love this in their purses, especially if they're on the go or they're leaving the gym. Just a little bit goes a long way. We let the dust settle, and then it's an amazing workable product. But I think the absolute benefit of all of these products is we're tied into our nonprofit where we help families that are struggling with addiction. And I think just having this symbol where you can see the brand and the name, it's just something to give you confidence to get through that day, or as a reminder. You know,
you've had loss in your own personal
Yeah.
life, right? Yeah, many people in our audience have, sadly, whether it's like a loss to a family member because of addiction or things like that. And you also give back, right? What is the give back of Uplift?
So coming from my background, I lost two sisters to addiction. I'm celebrating 9 years of sobriety. My brother's sober, my fiance's sober, my whole network. I wouldn't have this brand without my sobriety. So always going back to the root. The Family Restored, it's a group of families that get together to give support for each other, that whether there's someone that they've lost or they're new to it, to get education from in-person to Zoom meetings. We also help raise money for those that can't afford treatment. And I think that that's an extremely important program to partner with everything going on. And again, meaning the name Uplift, you know, uplifts your hair, uplifts your mood, uplifts people. And that, to me, is the biggest satisfaction I can have. You know, it's worth more than money to me to know that our fund helped save someone's life. And to not make it sad, but, you know, a lot of my friends that have years of sobriety, they're success stories. And it's amazing to be a part of that story.
I love being a part of your story and your journey. I was so happy that we met. This is one of your biggest sellers, right? Yeah. So this has it's like a kit, right? Yeah. What do you have in this?
So this is our ultimate matte pack, sea salt spray. You know, the kids with the broccoli hair tops, amazing product, awesome choice, especially if they're, you know, not taking 2 showers a day. This is something that they can spray in. It's not going to damage the hair. So we start with the sea salt spray. Our styling compound is also our top seller, which is a matte product. Not sticky, not greasy, washes out amazing. The kaolin clay does a really good benefit on dry scalp. And then, of course, our textured powder and textured dusts, actually. And we love this kit so that way you get a choice of all three and then see which one you like better, or you can cocktail them all together, and it makes a great finish.
You mentioned the clay because there's like a fun little quote on the clay.
Yeah.
What's the quote on the clay?
So the clay, if I can find it, it is right here. So this is probably one of the most trickiest products that took years to master, and I'm extremely proud of this one because of, you know, the consistency of something that the client can also use, or the consumer that can also use. So when I got sober, I was really working with meditation, and I was actually teaching meditation classes for many recovery centers. Your life is a piece of clay. Don't let anyone else mold it for you by Lao Tzu. So
Read that one more time for me, Rocco, because it sounds so good.
Your life is a piece of clay. Don't let anyone else mold it for you.
Beautiful.
And I will say I've grown with these. Sometimes I need a reminder, and I just look at the quotes, even when they're in my shower. I see that, and then it's a focus. You know, they always say when the plane goes down, the oxygen mask drops. You got to put it on yourself before you help the person next to you. We are no use to others unless we take care of ourselves. And I think it's not selfish to have a daily routine to better yourself so that you can be of use to everybody else. So that's really what it's all about.
And that's why you created the brand.
Yes.
Because you wanted to be in service to others. Right, and with all of your hair knowledge and all of that, is so exciting. And I don't usually do this, but I did ask you ahead of time because I wanted you to like maybe just play with my hair. So I'm going to sit right next to you.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. One moment. Here we
So
go.
again, a little bit goes a long way. What I like to do is give it a shake. I put a little bit in the root, and then the money piece. This is what everybody seems to love. Just a little bit. Let it settle, and then I just like to play with it and fluff it. It's going to work as a dry shampoo, especially when it's humid on the hot days. We do a lot of wedding hair for updos. This is one of our top sellers for that. And most of all, we just sponsored Miss Massachusetts and Miss Maine. And the girls seem to love it backstage, especially while they're changing their outfits.
Well, I'm a Gemini, so you need the side done too.
Yeah, we got to do both sides. So just a little
So
bit.
I've had people sing to me, but you were the very first guest in 18 years that has ever played with my hair or helped me work with my hair on camera. Rocco, thank you so very much. Stay tuned for more. We have been living it up right here with my new friend, Rocco. And if you notice, he's got this little cute, like, Boston accent. That's where he's from. Be well. Both physical and emotional imbalances can be helped with acupuncture. Stay tuned. Joining us now is Dr. Kelly, and we're going to be talking about acupuncture. And the name of her company is Kelly 121 Acupuncture. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is 121 the address of your building, or what does that signify to you?
That's such a great question. So my address is 121 East 6th Street, but actually 121 means something. I wish all my patients can live until at least 121 years old, healthily, no pain, happy and healthy. That's what 121 really means.
Really? Fascinating. You know, there is such a connection between our mind, our body, our spirit, right? What type of research, when you were learning and going to school, did you discover that made that, I guess, very apparent to you? How did you learn that it's all comes together?
Actually, I started to learn Chinese medicine because I listened to a book called Huangdi Neijing. It's like the most ancient book about Chinese medicine. It's a little bit like a Bible, kind of. So in the book, actually, it did mention people can live until 120 healthily. And in Dao De Jing, actually, it's a very ancient Chinese philosophy book. It mentioned 1 generates 2, 2 generates 3, 3 generates everything. That's why I add 1 on top of 121. 120 means you can live 121, 130, just healthily, happily. It's not from nowhere, it's literally from the book. Actually, even from the Bible, I think somewhere in the Bible also mentions people can live until 120 healthily. That's why I think the goal is really not that hard, because I have patients already like 80 years old, but still pretty good shape. So I think it is pretty practical. People can live until at least 121 healthily.
That makes me happy, because I always pretend, Dr. Kelly, that I'm going to definitely make it to 100. I'm already planning my birthday party for when I'm 100, right? So it makes me happy to know that if I do things correctly or do things well, that I could even have more longevity, but healthy longevity.
Yes.
So how does acupuncture work? It seems to me over the last decade that it's not just the little subcutaneous needles, but there's also other, I guess, modalities now that they're putting into play. But what do you use at your practice?
That's a great question. Actually, in my hands, that's like the most thinnest and shortest needle I usually use on people, like facial rejuvenation, or people who have very high sensitivity, which means I put in needle, let me feel a little bit pinch. Most patients actually don't really feel anything after putting in the needle. They're like, "Oh, you're done, Dr. Kelly?" I said, "Yes." So how acupuncture works? So when I put in the needle into certain acupuncture points, one function of acupuncture is move the qi and blood. So we know blood, right? Everybody knows the blood flowing in our body.
Yes.
Qi is a little bit kind of hard to imagine because it's invisible.
Your qi is invisible.
Yeah,
right.
like we breathe in air, right? You cannot see the air, but we breathe in every day. It's very important to us. So in Chinese medicine, when we do acupuncture, we move the qi and blood. That's why when we do, for example, facial rejuvenation, people can have the glow on their face. And another function of acupuncture is we can tonify you. For example, people are deficient. They don't have energy. They get up after sleep, they still, I need coffee.
Okay.
But acupuncture can tonify you, kind of like give you more qi and blood. That's why a patient feel like, oh, have more energy. I can go for a day without the coffee. I have a lot of patients that used to drink like 2 or 3 coffee a day. Now they need no coffee.
My goodness.
Yes,
Okay.
that happened to a lot of patients. So after we tonify you, you will feel more energy, and that's why people who come to me for the facial rejuvenation, they feel like their face looks younger. Mm-hmm. Like literally it's changing. Like that's why people love to come in, not only for facial rejuvenation, also people can come in for the pain, right? Neck pain, shoulder pain, lower back pain is so common. I treat so many patients, everyone said after they got off the treatment table, they said, my pain is gone, it is magic.
Yeah. Well, for me, I hold a lot of stress in my shoulder blades, right? Nowhere else. It always just feels so tight, right between my shoulder blades and right here on my neck. And I'm like, and sometimes that can also relieve stress, right?
Yes.
So emotional, it also takes care of both physical pain and sometimes emotional pain.
Yes, I do have patients coming in for like depression, anxiety, doesn't matter you're 18 or you're 80. A lot of people do have anxiety. They just have to take a pill. They couldn't go on work, or some people even like have to quit their job because it's just too much anxiety. They come in, I treated them, they feel so much better, almost right away. Like even for insomnia, people have trouble to fall in sleep or stay in sleep. After one treatment, they can sleep so much longer.
Really?
Yes.
You love what you do, don't you?
I really love, and my patients love me and love them. That's really given me a lot of joy. That's why even I work more than 12 hours a day, I never complain, I never feel tired.
I'm grateful for what I get to do too, because I get to meet the most outstanding individuals, which makes me happy. And then if somebody comes to you now, I'll feel like I had a little part in their journey of wellness.
Yes.
Right? That holistic approach to life. And so many of us don't even take the time to put ourselves first in the conversation. So it's nice that people realize that you're a choice, like somebody could choose to get help through acupuncture. And it doesn't have to be scary. It's teeny tiny.
Yeah, like
They don't even feel it.
Needle is very small, but it works.
Yeah, it works. Thank you so much. Continued happiness on your journey. And I hope we both live to be 121. How fun would that be?
Thank you.
I definitely need to see you, though, because I don't think I can get there by myself. I think I definitely need you, Dr. Kelly.
I will help you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you've always been wondering about it, fascinated by it, maybe even a little fearful, please go to the website, learn more. This could be a solution for you. Be well. Curious on how to stop time? Our next guest is from one of my favorite towns. She's from Westport, Connecticut. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Donna?
Good. When did you move there? How long have you been there?
So I have been in Westport since 2017.
Okay.
So quite a
What
while
do you
now.
love best about your community? Because it's a thriving, great town.
It is. I think I have 3 small children, so I really like the family atmosphere, but also we have a lot of great restaurants, which makes it fun for going out with my husband on the weekends as well.
Absolutely. I love the one that's like part like art gallery and part like vintage kind of cute little diner-ish kind of thing. It's like really artsy. It's like right in like this little square. And I was like, I love that place. It's the one that's got the little restaurant with the little bridge. Plenty of cool
Yes.
places, but you also have a place there, right?
I do.
So what is Chem Chronos?
So it is a boutique medical aesthetics practice where I primarily do things like injectables to help kind of stop the effects of time.
When did you start becoming aware of that, of aesthetics, medical aesthetics?
So it's something that I've always wanted to do, even when I was back in college. And I just started getting into the field about 2 years ago at this point.
Okay. What training did you need to go through in order to do that?
So
Because you have to have a lot of science background in order to make it work, right?
Correct. So I graduated with a bachelor's in biology and a minor in chemistry. And then I went on to my master's program, which is a physician assistant. And past that, in aesthetics, I've done extensive coursework, which is totally separate from my underlying training.
Lovely. When you decided to open up shop, right, was it hard to find a retail space? Were you like kind of trying to figure out like where you wanted to be located? Like what goes into making that big move as an entrepreneur?
It's really funny. Like I initially thought to create the practice as almost like a concierge where I travel to people's homes. So when I was starting to build the practice, that was kind of what I was thinking. And then I met with some attorneys and they were like, you can't do that. And so I don't know, it was kind of silly. Like the next week I was like, well, let's start looking at some spaces. And my husband and I, we went out on the town and literally looked at 2 places. And the place that we settled on was the second place that we went to. And it's right next to my nail salon and also right next to my kids' elementary school. So it was just perfect.
And it makes a lot of sense because both where you're going, you know, what you're doing, the medical aesthetics, but then also having like beauty right next to you, a kind of inconvenience as a mom, right?
Very, yeah. It was a really nice setup. We have a female-owned dentist. We have a nail salon, a lash salon, a hair salon. So like all of the things that you would need for beauty. So I just kind of snuck right in.
Right in. What are some of the things that you are injecting? What injectables do you use and what grade quality? Because I was doing my research and I was like, oh, you use the good stuff. So, okay.
Yeah, so everything that I do is FDA-approved. So when we talk about neurotoxins, typically Botox or Dysport are the two that I use most regularly. And then I use for dermal fillers, I use things like Restylane, Juvederm, or even Sculpture, which is more of a biostimulatory filler.
Okay. When somebody's getting their skin ready for this type of procedure, what do you recommend? Should they be drinking water for 6 days before and after? Like, what would you recommend so that they have the best quality results?
So when people come into my practice, I try to create a comprehensive treatment plan for them. So injectables is just a part of that. We use medical grade skincare that we do at home. We also do things like microneedling, chemical peels, just to get the skin ready and of its best quality before we do injectables. As far as at home before injectables, a lot of times we'll have people start taking arnica, which is a herbal supplement, which basically stops you from bleeding as much, honestly, so that limits bruising when you have the treatments done. So that's it, aside from avoiding things that could make you bruise more easily.
Okay, and also always be careful with the sun.
Of course,
We
always avoid it.
Thank you for joining us today. Yes. It was a pleasure to meet you. And like I said, Westport is if I wasn't living here in Huntington, definitely be over in Westport. It's just, there's something about it that just resonates when you go there. It's a great town. And congratulations to you for being a mompreneur.
Thank you very much.
You know, I remember having my own company and stuff like that with my kids were little. Now they're all, instead of, I like to say I don't have an empty nest, I like to say I'm a bird launcher. right? But it is really wonderful that you can do both, that you can have a business and be a great mom.
I hope I make them proud and they see me as a strong woman.
I am sure that you're making them proud because you are a very strong woman. It's very nice to meet you, Rachel.
You too, Donna.
Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up right here. If this is something you would want to consider, or if you're in another community and you just want to learn more about what medical aesthetics are, please reach out to Rachel. Be well. Joining us is Ally Melendez. Ally, hello.
Hi, Donna. I love being here with you.
We're family. We actually are family because Ally and I met while she was in college, and I've gotten to watch. You've gotten to watch the show grow, and my kids grow, right? But also, I've gotten to see you get married, and now you're gonna have a family.
Yep, pregnant. It's crazy. From like the first time being on air together, when I was telling you, how you can pack for college and what to cook in college, and now, now I'm here, and it's just the craziest thing. You blink, and all of a sudden, life flies by. But I'm happy to have you in all my chapters.
I love you so much, and your whole entire family. Like your mom and your sisters. It's just nice. It's nice to have those connections, even in our industry, because it's rare sometimes in our industry that you can make those solid connections that are sustainable and they go through with you for your whole life.
100%.
So what I did is I invited you. I said, well, why don't you be like our new parenting correspondent? And you said,
yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have the kid yet, but you know what? I do have my niece and nephew. I am obsessed with them, so I'll just grow and learn. And I think a lot of first-time moms that are in the same boat as me right now want somewhere to go where they can learn and grow alongside someone else in that boat. So I feel that I can kind of be the voice for maybe not the most experienced parent, that's you, but someone starting and growing along the way, and I think that's really important too.
I think so too. And what was nice, we had Jamie on today. She came in from Portland, Oregon.
Oh
a Buckaroo chews. I'm like with chewing leather with the like teething or whatever, and why that's important. I don't know. It's like the equipment has changed.
Yeah.
Right? And the philosophy has changed.
So much has changed and is continuing to change, and especially where we're getting information from is like sort of changing. So it's good to be in the know. I think it's good to be in a world where information is so readily available. Just be careful where you're getting it from, and of course, just maybe double check certain things, especially as a first-time mom. I'm triple checking things, but I'm feeling really, really good with and really confident in knowing, how I can do this the best way that I can do it.
Well, even like, from the time my mom was a parent, even my grandparents were parents, do you put the baby on the side? Do you put your baby here? Do you do this? Do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's like, it's like you're bombarded.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But the most important thing is what? What am I going to tell
learn.
you? What's the most important thing about being a mom?
Have fun.
Yes, and and just love them. Just love them. And the best part is like when they're little, they don't really go anywhere for like a year. Like they're going to stay wherever you place the baby. They're not, they're not crawling yet. They're not walking yet, right?
Exactly.
So, and they'll grow with you, and it'll be calm and wonderful. It's I love being a parent. I really do. Andrew, Elise, and Matthew. I have their baby pictures on my nights, like my dresser. So every time I wake up in the morning, and then as I go down the stairs, I see their high school graduation pictures. So it's like
it's beautiful.
Like the whole experience.
And what's amazing too is you are someone I've always looked up to for my career, but now to look up to you on a personal level and on like a motherhood level, oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. It's just so much more eye-opening, And there's this notion that women, we can't just stop everything, drop everything, and have kids. And it's like, well, you kind of can, right? When you have a good support system, when you have good things in place, like with you being able to do this and be in control of the job and the show that you have is so empowering for young broadcasters like myself.
Thank you.
Because I want to be able to build a family around the career that I already have, and I don't want to sacrifice one for the other because you don't have to nowadays. And I think that's really, really important. And growing my coaching business and aspiring inspiring the younger generation of, aspiring female broadcasters to step into their power and own their voice and their confidence is something that you really helped me to do.
You have a course
that
now,
I can now
right?
pass down. Exactly.
You have this new course, Ally, and that
Yeah.
is a perfect compliment to someone, especially when the baby's little, because then you can stay home with them and still work and still do other things.
Yeah.
I used to tell my kids,
That's
I'd
the
be
plan.
like, when Andrew and Elise would be fighting or whatever, they would be like rambunctious. I'd be like, all right, quiet on the set, because I wanted people that I was on the phone with to think that I was like at work. Be like, quiet on the set. If I still say that to them today, they just laugh, right?
That's amazing.
Or there was one time though when I was out with Matthew and he was little, and we went to it was the unveiling. I'll always remember it. It was a ribbon cutting for an inclusive like playground that they had at Eisenhower Park.
Okay.
And people were coming up to me like, oh, hey, Donna, hey, Donna, hey, Donna, hey, Donna. And he looks at me and he was little and he goes, Mommy, he says, could you not be Donna Drake? I just want you to be Mommy. And I was like, I heard him in that moment. And I was like, not a problem, right?
Yeah.
But we can have it all and we can balance things. But yeah, there's times where my kids are like, all right, Mom, like, don't talk to everybody. Could you like put on a hat and just kind of like,
Exactly. But
part
it's
of
hard
it.
for you to turn it off because I feel like
Me?
it's just so
It's me.
authentically
This
you.
is me. Like, I
you
am
are
this
just
person.
on. Yes, all the time, which is amazing.
Your new course, though, how can people that want to get into broadcasting and do what we do, how can they onboard onto your new course?
Yeah, so it has been over a year that I've taken to create this course. I really wanted it to not just be something that already exists. I wanted it to be true to my experience and my journey getting into broadcasting and how I can really leverage that to help other women get into broadcasting. And so even though everyone's journey will look different, you'll never know what it'll look like until you try. And you step into it and you give it your all and you network and you just continue to follow your dream. And I think that that's the first step, and finding a mentor and a connection to do that is the second step. So you can follow me on Instagram at ally.melendez. It's on my website. The wait list is still open for the first round, but of course there will be multiple rounds, and I'm just so excited to be able to show more people how incredibly beneficial and how rewarding this career really is, because it brought me to people like you. It brought me to so many incredible people and places, and I'm constantly living in this state of gratitude because I'm truly so grateful for all the opportunities that led me to do what I love.
I remember when you got that first, big job outside of here, and it was all about wardrobe. And you're like, I need red, white, and blue clothes. Right? Do you remember? You're like, I can only wear red, white, and blue. And we're like, what kind of blue? Is it royal blue? Is it this blue? Is it navy? Is it this blue? It was so much fun, right?
I was so hard on myself, right? And then you learn to just like, okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
Go with the flow.
And the same thing's going to be like with maternity clothes. So it'll be fun to shop for that too. But thank you so much for being here. And welcome back with full open arms. Welcome back. There you go. Thanks for watching. From our house to your house, we wish you all the best. Thank you. Joining us now is Rich Manley, and he is an adventure illusionist. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. It's a pleasure to be here.
What started your journey as an illusionist?
Being an adventure illusionist kind of started when I was 10 years old. My grandfather, he loved magic, but he was also a surgeon. And in the 40s, they taught some surgeons sleight of hand to be better with their finger dexterity. And so he learned that, and he implemented that skill into a lot of the places he traveled. In the Amazon, when he'd meet remote cultures or remote communities, he would do magic for them. And it was kind of the way for him to break the ice and bridge that cultural divide. And so he taught me that skill, and he inspired me ever since to just travel the world, do magic for people, adventure, and meet these communities and just see how they're all interrelated and connected.
He probably would have much rather had your career maybe sometimes than his own, right? Being a surgeon is like so serious, but being an adventure illusionist, you get to like use your hands, but you get to do something that's fun every day.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was funny because he always had this childlike innocence to him. He and all these family get-togethers, whenever I saw him or wherever he was home, He just had, such a lively expression and smile. I mean, and I think it was really because of all the places he visited. So despite, I guess, the stress of his career, he was always just smiling, happy, and encouraging me to one day go out and travel and meet all these people and, really stick with the magic. He taught me my first trick so that I could have the patience to keep growing and building off of that. And that's one thing he really wanted to teach me, was that patience, which I think he also learned himself being a surgeon. But despite that, he was always just a happy guy.
That's lovely, coming from those great roots and such an early beginning. And now, speaking of travel, you've been traveling because you've been cast in projects that allow you to actually see parts of the world. What's going on with you now?
Yeah, so it's one of the series that I created is called Culture Shock, and this has gone through numerous iterations. We started shooting this around right before COVID hit, so we had a little bit of snags with different networks. We shot our pilot, and it was we were shopping it around. It went to Netflix, Disney Plus, it went to all these different places, and it was one of those things where it was travel based, but it had magic. But at the same time, because COVID hit, we started pitching it right after that time, and travel shows really weren't doing so well for obvious reasons. And we were very fortunate and lucky to have the show released now on Tubi TV, and also will be on Apple TV. We're looking at it's coming out on Hulu, so it'll be on multiple streaming platforms. But the show really is about me following in my grandfather's footsteps and getting his old travel journal, which had all of the places he visited and all the cultures and communities he visited. So the show follows me going to those different places and seeing these people and learning what he learned. And again, seeing how everyone is connected when you perform magic for them.
Interesting. Since you're traveling geographically, like almost the same footprint or same footsteps, did you meet anyone yet that actually knew your grandfather? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I wonder if that might be in the works.
Yeah, we were close. When we went to Peru, I believe it's the first episode before we get to the Amazon, there was a shaman that he did visit that he wrote in his journal about, and a shaman who would do a ritual to Pachamama where they would split the skies, and the clouds would part and the sun would come out if Pachamama was happy. And it wasn't the same shaman, but it was the same experience, which was really chilling, because when we went to the Andes in this area called Pitamarca, we met this shaman, and he was more on the younger side, so he wasn't someone that my grandfather would have known, but he did the same ritual, which was that offering to Pachamama, which is Mother Earth in the Quechua belief in their tradition. And after the ceremony, and this is not an exaggeration, the sky actually opened up. It was winter and it was cloudy and the sun came out. And the shaman said to me that Pachamama was happy and that we'd all become brothers and sisters that day, which really, kind of hit home for me when those were some of the same words my grandfather had written in his journal. So that was a very spiritual, I guess, eye-opener.
That's remarkable. That's what a really cool thing. You've gotten to work also with a lot of different celebrities through the years. Anybody that sticks out, any memory for you that you're like, wow, that was like a cool moment for me? Maybe not had the sky open up, but like something cool.
Yeah. I worked with Cameron Diaz was fun. Maggie Grace on Night and Day. That was a really fun experience. I mean, Cameron Diaz was just a riot to work with. I mean, she was just hilarious and outgoing. And James Mangold, who was the director of that movie, it was fantastic to work with him. Him doing a bunch of other movies like that Wolverine spinoff. I forget what the name was. The one with Hugh Jackman, where it's more serious. But he's done so many great things. So to work with him was an honor. And then I'd have to say Scott Adkins, doing Debt Collector, being able to do a fight scene in a martial arts setting and showcasing my martial arts skills with him was really fun.
Yeah, you seem like you move in really fun, exciting circles. And when things are a little boring, you can always mix it up with like your sleight of hand or your talent or your skills, to bring a smile to somebody's face. You're going on tour, I guess, is what you would call it, with live events, correct?
Yes.
Where can we see you doing that?
So we're doing a stage show. It's called Journal of Mystery. And the first show is going to be here in Hollywood at the Lowe's Hotel, July 12th. And then after that, we're going to be touring to different parts of the U.S., Cincinnati. We'll be going to West Virginia, Hawaii, Bahamas. And, all those tour dates will be on www.expeditionrich.com. Also, WiggleRoomEntertainment.com, which is the parent company. And the show really follows kind of how the TV show is. It follows my expeditions and my adventures to remote areas of the world, what I've learned from the people there, and also the magic I've seen. And then I invite people from the audience up on stage, and I show them the particular magic effect or routine that I saw these shamans perform, and people get to see it firsthand.
I'm trying to remember. There was like a show that was on. It was like a game show for kids, and it was like Temple of the Hidden Poseidon.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, I think Nickelodeon.
That's what it was, yeah. Legends of the Hidden Temple, right? And it had like the guy, and it was like, I missed that. I think they should bring that back. But it seems to me like there's like some sort of a connection creatively between that and what you're doing now. Something that's just kind of out of the ordinary, a little unexpected, and like richly infused with like some cool stuff. So,
yeah, no, very much so. I mean, it's funny you bring that up because I used to watch that as a kid too, with my family, with my two brothers, my mom. My mom loved that show, and so we I know we watch it all the time.
Great show. What is one comment from a fan that like really resonated with you and touched your heart?
I think some of it is when other people, I guess, want to learn magic, and that there's people that have often said, especially kids, they're always like, oh, I want to do that, or I hear that, they picked up magic, even in my family, too, in my extended family, they're like, oh, we're trying magic now because, Rich is doing magic. And I think that is heartwarming because I do truly believe that magic does instill that wonderment. And I think when you perform magic for people, you are bringing people back to, childhood, wondering, and could that really be something that's happening, even if it's a trick or sleight of hand? It makes you, wonder. And I think that's a really important thing. And that's one thing my grandfather always said. And that's kind of why I think he was always smiling and he was always happy, because he would adventure, but he was always wondering, what else is out there? What else can I see? And it was that thirst for knowledge that really drove him. And I think magic is, in essence, a thirst for knowledge, because you want to learn how something's done, or you want to learn about a culture, or you want to learn about people or a skill, and you practice to do it, and it brings joy to people. That's what I love to see, especially when people are trying to do magic for those purposes.
Yeah, I really have always enjoyed doing it. And in fact, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on my show, but I'm just going to say it out because it's true. Right after high school, maybe during high school, I had a job at Abracadabra Pizza Parlor. And I used to get on stage and do tricks. I could make milk disappear. I could make, knots and ropes disappear. But I also disappeared in a house that they would turn around, and I completely disappeared. They'd open the house and I was gone. So just letting you know, there's been a little bit of magic in my history too. Good old Abracadabra Pizza Parlor in Florissant, Missouri. And we wore purple and a blue shirt. And it's also where I became really good at the video games. I had like Ms. Pac-Man when it wasn't just the arcade game, but they actually had a table version. I had a whole entire pattern. I could probably do it like if I closed my eyes. So, but it was certainly nice to visit with you, Rich, here today. And, always wishing you the best. Magic is wonderful and your talent takes you far, but it also helps your audience go far in their vision and in their mind, where they can travel to different destinations and escape reality just for a little while they're watching you.
Very much so. I couldn't have said it better. Yep.
Nice to be with you here today, and happiness to you always.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And on the count of 3, we're going to disappear. You ready? 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Joining us now is Dany Smith, and he is an inventor with many patents. But this patent that he has is really super cool. It is called Hat Shaper. Welcome to the show, Dany.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you here. I grew up working for the baseball Cardinals. I have always been a baseball fan, right? And sometimes people say I look good in hats. I don't know if I necessarily look good in hats, but what you do is you make hats look good.
That's right.
Okay, what is Hat Shaper? Why did you invent this?
Well, so a hat shaper is a device that basically takes your wrinkled hat that you get, that you love, and after you wear it, it gets sweaty and dirty. You have to wash it. And once you wash it, then it comes out all wrinkled. So our device basically takes it, and we showed you these last night.
You did.
And
these were just like a wrinkled mess last night.
And
right.
You can see
so
them.
Let me see what you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that one. Here's this
Wow.
this hat here is about 28 years old. Looks
It
brand
makes
new.
it brand new.
So, and you saw it last night, it was a wrinkled mess.
Yes.
And so basically this is our device here,
Okay.
and you put it on here, you stretch it nice and tight, and it brings it back to new. We use a stiffening spray to make it hold the shape longer.
Okay, well, almost like a starch kind of thing.
A starch, yeah.
Okay. So,
People don't know what starch is these days.
but my grandmother did.
Yeah, I
because she
know.
used to, when she would iron my
Yeah.
dad's like work shirts or whatever, right?
Right,
We would
yep.
spray a little starch on it, right?
Yep.
So similar. So you spray a little something on it.
Yep.
And that helps it retain its posture.
Yep.
It stands up nice and straight again.
Yep.
So do you cook it overnight? Is it some, like
Well,
how long does
we
it
don't
take?
call it cook because it actually
Right.
uses just regular room air temperature. So
Okay.
we found that like on some of these hats where it has a plastic backing on it, that the heat will melt it.
Okay.
So we just use room temperature, and so it just blows up through there. It's not going to do any damage to your hat. And takes about, if you get it wet right out of the washing machine, it might
Right.
take 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
But if you just barely spritz it to freshen it up, it might take 30 minutes.
Beautiful. So people lately, I've noticed, especially in the sneaker culture, right? People are taking better care of their sneakers. And I guess hats are the same way. It's like an accessory that you want to look sharp, right?
Yeah, I would say, hats are even more so than sneakers because
Okay.
they're a memory of where you've been. You've been on vacations with your kids. These are places at camp, and the Dr. Pepper, them from Texas, so that's a thing. And, my kids gave me this for Father's Day. So it says Dad. This is
Right.
a wrinkled one that I brought in here just for this purpose. But, they're meaningful. And so what guys do is they have, a closet full of hats that they've washed, and they're wrinkled, and they don't want to wear them out anymore because they're ashamed to be out with their buddies with them, but they also can't seem to have themselves throw it away or wash it because they know it's going to come out wrinkled.
Right.
So that's where we come in. It's okay. We tell these old dirty hats, go ahead, get in the washing machine. You'll be fine. You'll come out and we'll fix you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. So you do have like 40 patents, right?
I do.
What types of other things have you invented? You don't have to name names or anything.
well,
but
I can't name some
things,
names,
right?
but-
But some things in the automotive industry and different
Yeah,
industries.
most of it's in the automotive industry. So
Okay.
we had our own manufacturing plant for 16 years, and I've worked in and around that for 20 years past that.
Beautiful. What made you decide to become an inventor? Like, what gave you the courage to just really go for it?
Probably because I see what other people are doing and they don't seem to solve my problems very accurately. I have a very specific need. I bought some items before this to try to, have this solution, and there was nothing out there. And so, you just gets frustrating, and I'm like, I have it just like this. So I drew up a little drawing, from 5 years earlier, and it's like, someday I'll make this. So, when we launched in August of 24, I'd actually finally put together enough of this so that it fit and worked perfectly like I wanted.
What did you use as your original prototype? Like, you know, when you're trying to like widget something together, was it like a spaghetti colander or like what did you use?
So because I do product development and design, I already have a 3D printer in my office. So I was able to just design it on CAD and print it with a 3D printer.
When it actually came out, the first one, right? What did you think? Were you like, wow, this is at Eureka? Or did you have to tweak it a little bit?
Well, so I did have to tweak it a little bit. The first one, the top was a little low, so the brim was hitting it, and this air deflector right here, as we call it, helps it dry the bill.
Okay.
And so, you know, we had to work those things out. So, you know, this is probably version 16 that you're seeing here. So it takes some...
But now you got it.
We got it now. So when we finally had it, we were just like, it works.
Seriously, your Texas hat, when you first came last night and we were talking, it was just flat. It's like flat as a pancake. It had no life to it. And now you brought it back to life.
Yep. And you're proud to wear it with your friends.
There you go. How many hats do you personally have in your hat collection?
I probably have about 75.
Okay.
Which may seem like a lot, but I know a bunch of guys that have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hats, and their wife is telling them, you know, take those hats to Goodwill, and the guy's got them in trash bags. He's like, I can't part with them. They mean too much to me.
This would be a perfect gift for either themselves or for someone that you love and you don't know what to get somebody.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
No, it's a great Father's Day gift.
I was going to say, and ball, you know, ball teams too, right? Like if you've got your uniform or whatever, and then you've been wearing that hat and the hats look terrible, how sharp would it be for a ball team, even a little league team, to like make sure that the hats look great?
Well, they get dirty and gross,
Right.
you know, sliding into base and, you know, just handling them. And yeah, I think every team should actually, you know, want to have it for all their people so that the kids show up and they look, you know, first class. It's not like a pro league where they get maybe new hats all the time. This is the real world of guys who are just out having fun and getting dirty and gross and need something to help them.
And I know with 75 babies and also 40 patents, I'm sure I'm not going to ask you to pick your favorite. But if I did ask you to pick your favorite, would this be your favorite invention so far?
Well, we're having the most fun with it right now.
Great.
People are just responding to it very well. We did a Pearl is my person that's helping me do all the social media stuff, and we've got, you know, almost 400,000 views on a video we just posted. So people are relating, they're connecting, and they're wanting it. So we're just trying to get the word out.
I definitely want one. It was so nice to have you here, Dany. Thank you for coming from Texas. Truly appreciate that. I also did not know that Dr. Pepper was invented in Texas.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? I'm always learning something new here. Always learning something new. Fabulous product. I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And also thank you for sharing your brain and your wisdom with the world. You know, like that's why I was asking you how courageous it has to be when you want to take a product, you know, from concept to reality. So keep doing that, because I'm sure that brain of yours is going to keep creating and inventing. But this one, it's your baby. Let's go for it.
It's fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Dany.
you.
There you go, Hat Shaper. This is the it gift, right? It's wonderful. And it also is helping sustainability, because instead of putting your old hats in the dump or taking them and gifting them away or not wearing them, you can now wear them. And you're welcome. Be well. This is Donna Drake. Happy journeys.
Take my hand, come with me, and we'll find better ways to be something much more. Live it up, live it up, live it up now.
Thanks for watching Live It Up. You can visit us at liveituptvshow.com.